So I haven't made a video in a long time. It's I think 3 months to the last one, uh, and 8 months was the one before that. And mostly I'm making this one today because it's just been more of the same. I've still been taking off dead skin, dead cuticle skin, and nails. But what's different now, and if you look back, and you really should, people are not going back and looking at the old videos, but the old videos, depending on where you are in the process, if you haven't started, you need to look at the beginning ones, not the end ones. You know, if you're starting to try to get the stuff off your fingers, you need to look at the old videos because that's going to be more like where you are, depending on how much damage you've got on your hands. I am getting close to the end of the road. I am. I am actually curing psoriasis of the nails, if that's what you want to call this. To me, it's just nail damage. Okay? But what's happening is I made a video 8 months ago. I made one that was 51 minutes, and I made one that was 13 minutes. You only need to look at the 13-minute one. The 13-minute one is going to show you that I still had half circles of overlaid nail. It was completely disconnected, but it was just sitting there under the skin. And I was saying in the videos then, I say this stuff is entombed in the skin at the very front of my fingers, and that's why this stuff is bubbling up and rippling up, and why the nails look so bad. Well, you can see now, 8 months later, pretty much all of that material that was under here. I'm talking about the big old top nails, the stacks and stacks of nails. They're largely gone. And the remnants of those nails that were buried under the skin has gone away, and that's allowed me to peel off those big pieces of detached remnant nail that were just buried here, entombed under the skin. So now what's happening, and the only thing you can really see that's different, is that the texture of the nail material is better. The nails are coming out now because they're not jamming up on the stuff in front because there's not as much of it. If I stopped now, it would go back to being just like it was because I have not gotten all of the old damage off. But I have to. I have to get it all off. If I stopped right now, it would I have unjammed the nails to a certain extent. The nail material that's still impounded up here, the dead skin cells that are still impounded under my skin, that are the material that the body makes the nail out of, it will just continue to come out in a semi-liquid form and puddle out like floor wax, and it'll spread out too wide, and it'll occupy the whole area, and it'll cover up all this damage that's left, and in a little while I'll have something that look like nails, good nails or right nails, but aren't. They won't be the right shape. They won't be in direct contact with the nail bed because it hasn't been uncovered yet. And in a short order, I'll be back where I was. So you can see that there's still dead cuticle skin here. Anywhere you see white like this, I'm down to the point where I'm able to work with the wooden stick now. And what I found out is this is what people who have less damage use instead of what I use, which is this. I've been using the X-Acto blade to get under there and peel this stuff up. But people who do regular nail maintenance, they use these. I haven't been able to find orange sticks, actually. They're very hard to find. I went to like 4 or 5 beauty supply stores. You couldn't find them. But I had an old manicure kit that I'd never used. It was like brand new. I got it at a flea market or something, and it had two. It had 2 orange sticks in it. Anybody that thinks that you can't gouge yourself with a stick like this as good as you can an X-Acto knife, need to remember that there's a reason they call them skewers. Okay, but I have gone to starting now. For the first time in my life, seems to actually be a reason to go ahead and try to break these cuticles loose and do it every day. So I've been using the orange stick for that. But today, I got to piddling around. Everything looked so normal the other day. I was going to make a video so you could see that the nails were looking kind of square on the sides, and the backs, the arc at the back of the nail was more regular. The shape was more like what you would expect to see at the back of the nail and the cuticle. You see that there's that. You know, these are much more better regular shape. They were the backs of the cuticle on top of the nail. They were really butchered up through this whole 3-year process. And now they're starting to actually look like cuticles. The nails are still too wide. As long as I have surplus skin, as long as I have dead cuticle skin built up here under the nail, which I could pick that out right there, right? And I could do it with the orange stick. But if I could, if I pick that out, then this is undermined. It leaves a space, a gap. The reason the nail material, which is plastic, spills out and over is because this makes a platform for it. When you take this out, when you pick it out from underneath, then it helps undermine the nail. The nail is too big, it spreads out too far, and if you want to get all the old damage off, you have to get these nails back to the same size and shape as the nail bed. And the way you can keep them from spreading back out and becoming puddle shaped, because they'll assume the shape of this whole bumper of dead skin. They'll come all the way out and they'll be completely paddle shaped, and they'll completely obscure this pad of dead skin that you've got under your fingernails. You won't see it, you'll think everything is fine. But when you pick this out, it undermines it. And there'll be a space under there, and then you can get under there and you can trim that nail off. And that's going to change it, because this is the base. This is the dead skin that this flexible material comes out and spreads out over. So it's making the base for your nails to become too wide, because they're being made out of this extremely plastic, almost liquid when at some points, liquid, a mix of liquid from your body, from your tissue, and this dead skin or cell material that is impounded under your skin. That is what mixes together and forms the nail. It hardens up when it comes out into the air, just like a 2-part resin, which we've talked about before. So, but when you take all this out, then you get a chance to skinny down the nail again. And you'll see this is a projection of like a thin nail. It's underneath. All of this other stuff has been sitting on top of it. When this peels up and off, it'll reveal more of this dead skin. I could get under there and pick that out, okay? I could take that out and expose that. I'm sorry for the quality, and also I don't have my eyeglasses, so I can't really focus on what I'm doing. Even at the best, I can't really see what I'm doing here. But you can see that's nail. It would break back this way, from there to here. This is dead skin, and it would come this way, like this. Okay? So I still have plenty of dead cuticle skin on my fingers. This is what I did today, and yesterday, my fingers all were looking pretty good. You know what I mean? I'd left them alone for a few days, and they were looking kind of like that. I picked at them some more. I peeled some more stuff off of the front of here. But they were looking like this. All the nails had kind of regular curves at the back. The nails were sticking out here all to the end. They were, to a certain extent, looked normal because they were covering up some of this flubber in front. I peeled off more, and now they're looking raggedy again. But you can see that this texture If you look back at that old video, the 13-minute one from 8 months ago, you'll see that the texture of the nail is remarkably different. So since there are less impediments buried in the skin in front, there's nothing that interrupts the flow. It's not nearly as convoluted as it was then. So the nail is coming out in a more uniform way. The nails are still not, you know, a great texture, and they're not great color, and they're not right. They're not the right shape. I still have junk. You know, I still have dead nail built up on the nail bed that's much wider and thicker than it's supposed to be. The nails are not coming out in a single layer directly in contact with the nail bed and assuming a right shape. But the texture of the nail itself, of the nails, is a lot better. You can see that ripple in there. That just means that there's surplus nail material here that needs to come out. This, and you can see where I picked this out. You see that? That all came out in a strip, and now that'll be undermined under there. I'll be able to get the knife in there and actually carve that side wing off, which has been, up until just yesterday, or today, this morning, buried in dead skin. This was rolled right up over it. It rolls right up over in front. That's the same thing that's going on here. This is nail. It breaks back this way. This is dead skin. It was rolled up over it in front. It all looked just normal. This just looked like all the same. It just came up and merged with that, like that. You see? Like this, or like that, or like any of these. You see if I've got any that I haven't picked away. There's one. You can see I broke that nail back a little bit. I broke that nail back a little bit. And so now you see the dead skin here. This is a projection of nail, just like here. Just like this. And it's buried in skin. It's buried in the skin here that's rolled up over it. And so this, we'll be able to peel this down this way, away. And it'll uncover that little ledge. If there's any if there's any nail still sticking out underneath this, that this is sitting on, buried under this skin, that's just another obstruction and impediment. It's more old dead nail material that's sitting on top of the nail bed, and it's going to have to go away. But you see, we're actually curing psoriasis of the nails here. We're getting rid of all the old damage. We still have a collar behind of dead skin. It's the same all the way around. So if I have that much to come off in back, I still have that much to come off in front. So this is actually very hopeful. These nails are still too wide. They spread out too far. They have to be trimmed. They have to be more narrow. They have to come back to within until they mimic the exact shape, the cylindrical shape, or section of a cylinder shape of the nail bed itself, or nail plate. You can see that that's all just junk right there. That will all just peel off. I could get under there. Now that when you pick this out, when you pick that skin out, you can get the knife under there and you can just carve that. You can carve that piece away. And then that destroys the base that this has been coming out and forming over. And so it will not have as much of a tendency to spread out. The new nail material will actually be diminishing in size rather than increasing. So, and you can see there's the same thing. We have stuff underneath the skin there still. And this nail, obviously, the thumbnails come in for the most abuse. If you bite your fingernails, the thumbnails come in for the most damage. These are still way too wide. The thumbnails are supposed to be the same shape as all the other nails. They're supposed to be parallel on the sides, right? Not spread out like that. So this wing has to go away, and this wing has to go away. And the dead skin that's sitting on when it's picked out, like I picked out a big strip here the other day, that will just undermine the base that this nail material has been forming on, and it will have a tendency to shrink. But you have to get rid of all of it. There's no cheating allowed. And the thing I've learned here just recently, because this is a process that's not evident until you take the next step and the next step and the next step. I was wondering what would happen when I got to the end. There'd be some big dramatic thing. Well, it's not going to be. What's going to happen is what's happening now. It's going to transition from being really convoluted and bubbly and terrible nail material to something that's a little more regular like this. And that'll go on for however long it takes to get this old, dead, or dry, desiccated, dead cell material that should have been used years ago to make nails, but has been impounded under my skin. All of it has to be flushed out and evacuated, and it'll make nails eventually. And once all of this stuff junk is gone, then my nails will start to be made every day from the dead cell material that's produced by the body that day. And then when all this junk is gone, my nails will come out in a thin layer. I look at people on the bus and I embarrass myself because I want to ask them, can I take a picture of your hands? And I've asked a couple of people and they always say no. I don't know why. It's just their fingernails. But for some reason, nobody wants to do it. And I'm really extremely reticent to ask. But I see people that have thin, beautiful fingernails. They're square on the sides. They're straight on the sides. They arc up and over and back down. They're pink. You can look right through them and see the living skin, the oxygenated tissue that has blood in it and makes the skin pink. So black people have these beautiful pink fingernails. And it's really dramatic, and there are a lot of people that it makes absolutely difference. Socioeconomics makes no difference at all. I see poor people. I mean, people who are obviously desperately poor who have beautiful fingernails. They had just never, they're either calm, they've got better sense, they've never bit their fingernails. For whatever reason, they have these beautiful, beautiful nails, and they're the exact right shape. They're straight on the sides, they're pink, they're clear, they're thin, they're translucent. And then you have junk like this. If you've got, see, I still have these opaque nails, but color is starting to show through. So at some point, this is where I've gotten under here and I've peeled out some of this stuff, not enough. Pick out some more of that dead skin, right? All of that. Look at that. That's all dead cuticle skin. And it'll come out from under there, and it will leave this a space between here and there, and I'll be able to get under there and cut that. Just trim it off. But you can see the buildup. We still have buildup, layers and layers and layers of dead cuticle skin on the front of here. There's an exactly similar amount on the back. All of that collar of dead skin, all of it on each finger, depending on how much damage was done to each finger, all of it has to go away on each finger. This will peel up and go away, and all that will happen then is that you will be able to see that there's more dead skin, dead cuticle skin in ripples. You can see the line that's like fingerprints. Line after line after line after line. Each line is a different dead cuticle. And I did this with an orange stick, and this is just another layer of dead cuticle skin. You see? I'm not bleeding, and the reason is this is dead cuticle skin that's as dead as a doorknob. okay? You can pull too far. You pull outside that cuticle line, and it will bleed, because that's where you're getting into living tissue, okay? But this, you can see that. There's more layers. That will peel off that way, right? Dead skin, okay? Callus. This. The light's really terrible, and that's not helping either. I just finally decided to make another video because it's been so long. And then this. This is nail. Then all of these other nails are piled up, these bogus nails, the dead stacks of nails, what's left of them. And this is opaque. It shouldn't be opaque. It should be clear. It should be thinner. It should be in direct contact with the nail bed. And you can see now, this is going to redefine this line between this dead bumper of dead cuticle skin that's rolled up. And when this comes off, this is what's keeping it flattened out and making a base for this stuff to just grow and grow and grow. The nail grows and grows and grows. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and wider and wider and wider and longer and longer and longer. And all it's doing is covering up all this. It assumes the same shape if you'll let it. And the nail will become the shape of this dead skin underneath, and it will hide all of it and cover it, obscure it from your vision. And you see this. This is dead cuticle skin. This is just another layer of dead cuticle skin, right? And all of it's got to go away. See, and that peels to the back. And it peels to the back because it's nail. If it peels off to the front, it's cuticle skin. Oop. Go back and look at that 13-minute video. You'll see, you'll actually be able to, there's enough distance between then and now. And the whole time I've just been doing this. I've just been, there's a point, I could make a video every day of me taking off some more dead skin and some more dead nail and some more dead skin, some more dead nail. Unless you're looking at it every day or looking at one every month or something, you won't get the progression. It's like a cartoon or something. You make a cell a day, but you wouldn't actually see a dramatic difference unless you looked at one a week. Then you would see a difference in it. Otherwise, they would all just basically look the same. So this, see, that projection that was sticking out in front, which is nail, is going away now. It's coming to the back. It's nail. It's soft, kind of malleable nail. It's chalky. In this case, it's rubbery, but it can be chalky and crumbly. I saw this ad on the internet that's supposedly for a product that cures nail fungus. And they show this toenail that's arced up in the air, and you see this crumbly material underneath, and they're telling you that that's nail fungus. That's not nail fungus. That's this dead cell material from under the skin that's actually forced the nail up, and it's under such tremendous pressure that it's being pushed out underneath the nail. They don't have a clue. They don't know what they're looking at. They're calling it everything under the sun. They're calling it psoriasis of the nail, calling it nail fungus. They're selling you all this stuff. They bring you in the office 3 times a week and sell you pills, and none of it's doing any good, because what you've got is covered up nail damage from when you bit your nails, or just accumulated damage from having never done regular nail maintenance every day. If you do not break your cuticles loose from the fingernail every day and allow it to come out properly, form and travel out properly, then it will get frozen in there. And you see people all the time that have these white crusts that run all the way around. They're not doing regular nail maintenance. Nails are frozen in place. And you can leave it like that, like I did, 35, 45, 55 years. And all that happens is a dead nail, they don't get off. They continue to move out, kind of, but it's extremely retarded. They're not flowing out and forming and moving off expeditiously every day like they should. And so what happens is they essentially get frozen in place. And they stack up and stack up and stack up and stack up until you get to a situation where they start to delaminate, like window tint coming loose from the window. And then you can see these yellow streaks in it and stuff. And people go, oh no, I've got psoriasis of the nail. No, you've got accumulated nail damage. You either didn't do regular nail maintenance every day to keep your nails and cuticles moving out properly and keeping your cuticles flexible and alive, or this stuff is building up over covering up damage you did when you were a kid, like me, when I started biting my fingernails when I was 5. That's just dead skin, guys. Psoriasis of the nail is no more complicated than that. Okay? That's what it is. I mean, there may be something called psoriasis of the nail, but this is not it. The pictures you're seeing on the internet that they're calling psoriasis of the nail, this is just an accumulated nail damage. And what they're doing is they're calling the symptom a disease. These pictures you see of psoriasis of the nails, they're symptoms of damage you did to your nails by biting your fingers when you were a kid, biting your fingernails, and biting through the cuticle and having the cuticle die and another cuticle form. So that happens, and then the other thing that happens is you just don't do regular nail maintenance and the nail gets frozen in place. And the same thing basically happens. It's just not covering up as much damage. If you start to take the damage off and you never bit your fingernails, then you probably won't find big honking half moons of detached top nail, old nail, just buried in the skin under your skin on their fingers. But you'll still have a stack of nails where the bottom nail didn't move out properly, and the nail wash that's made out of this stuff just came out over it, formed another nail, and this dead skin accumulated on the sides, and then the nails get wider. As wide as the dead skin gets, the nail gets that wide. So these nails, when they're right, they'll be back here. They'll be square, they'll be longer. All of this will be gone. The nail will start back here somewhere. It'll come out to here. It'll be straight on the sides. It'll be thin. It'll be translucent. I'll see directly through it. There won't be any opaque. It'll be clear like a window pane, and I'll see the actual color of the nail bed, which is fed by blood. This is going to be pink. That's the right color. So if you have opaque nails, if you have dead skin over your nails like this, that you shape with your little stick every day, that's the other thing. If you've got a terrible accumulation like this, then it's not, even if you're doing pushing on this with a little wooden stick every day, unless you're getting it loose past back here, it's not doing any good at all. You're just shaping dead skin. I've gone over all that before in a million videos. Try looking at some of them. There are 82 of them up on the internet. If you're just looking at the most recent one, it might have absolutely no relationship to what you've got on your hands. You're looking at my fingers, and your fingers are like my fingers were 3 years ago. You need to be looking at the videos from 3 years ago. This is a progression, and it's a reverse progression. I'm taking damage off, okay? And if you're looking at it now and you have huge accumulations of dead junk on your hands, you're not necessarily recognizing your problem in what I'm showing you. But there's enough difference between what I've got now. See, this is shape here at least is restoring slightly. I still have a huge amount of dead skin built up on the back. I still have old flexible nail, stacks of nails. There's nails underneath here that stick out, and they're under the skin here that will be uncovered eventually and peel off. When all of this is gone, then this nail material will start to flow out, make a nail that's in direct contact with the nail plate or the nail bed, and it will be made out of this old junk material until all this old junk material is gone, or a mixture of old and new material, since it's freed up now. I've actually freed this up to a certain extent. But you can see that the shape of the cuticles at the back is more regular than it has been if you've been looking at the videos before. You'll see that these nails are, not the nails, but the cuticles are beginning to take a more regular shape. Hard for me to believe, too. So this is what we've been working for. The texture of the nails is going to get better. And the thing is, it's not going to be a radical transition at the end. When I get to the end and all the old damage is gone, I'm just going to start making new, clean, reasonably good textured, straight on the sides nails that are the same shape as the nail bed and only one nail thickness thick. So that's what you're trying for. That's what you want. You have to have all this old junk go away. All of these stacks of nails have to go away. And you see how much junk came off that finger. That was just today. And I've been plugging at this for 3 years. This is not a situation that will correct itself. You actually are going to have to do it yourself. Okay? Nobody you can go to out there and ask them, "Doctor, what's wrong with my hands?" They're not going to be able to tell you because they don't know. They don't know what they're looking at. They're going to sell you some pills and send you away and tell you come back in 3 weeks and get some more pills. You've got nail fungus or whatever. Not if you bit your nails when you were 5 years old. That's not what you've got. You've got big honking nails that are covering up all the damage that you did when you were a child or when you were biting your fingernails. Whenever you stopped biting your fingernails, whether you were 8 years old or 12 years old or 18 years old or 35 years old, from that day to this, your body has just been putting out repair nails, cover nails to cover up the damage that you did before. If you haven't taken that damage off, it's still there. It's not a self-correcting situation. All the body can't fix it. All it can do is paper over it. All right? And I'm getting tired of talking about it. Later.